It's the Palestinian Authority which forged a pact with Hamas that should be worried about the International Criminal Court. It engaged in war crimes against Israel by firing rockets deliberately aimed at Israeli towns and villages this summer. Israel will do what is necessary to defend its soldiers from this legal offensive being planned by Mr. Abbas.
The seemingly never-ending battle between Israel and the Palestinians has recently entered a new arena, the legal one. Both sides prepare to ask the world for assistance in proving the other is guilty of war crimes. This, as a former New York Times reporter, has lit a new controversy comparing Israel to one of the more brutal band of terrorists the world has ever known. Let's welcome to MidPoint, founder of the Shiloh Israel Children's Fund, the former mayor of Shiloh, Israel, and author of The Islamic Tsunami, Israel and America in the Age of Obama. David Rubin joins us. Mr. Mayor, good to see you again.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
What exactly do the Israelis hope to accomplish? And this, I should point out, is a legal group called Shurat Hadin, the Israel Law Center. They filed the lawsuits on Monday. What do they really hope to accomplish in helping to push their side of the story?
Well, we have a situation here where the Palestinian Authority has been taking repeated steps to bypass Israel rather than negotiating with Israel, rather than making peace, as it were, with Israel. They're going to international bodies such as the UN, such as the International Criminal Court, and they're trying to delegitimize Israel through those international bodies. It's a violation of the Oslo Peace Accords. It's a violation of the principle of negotiation of peace, and obviously they don't want that. So there are certain steps that Israel can take in response to that.
With regard to all of the different occurrences, if you will, the war, the battles, the missiles being thrown back and forth, why, in your opinion, does there continue to then be, from members of the United Nations and other countries, including some people even in the United States, who have a backlash against Israel, who say that Israel is the one helping to push this forward, and it is Israel who doesn't want peace? You know that you hear that constantly.
Of course. I would need a 2-hour program if we were to really cover the issue of anti-Semitism and resentment of the Jewish people and resentment of the whole concept of the chosen people. And
well, let's just make it, I'll tell you what, let's make it 90 seconds here before we take a break, and I'll make it simple then. In your opinion and the opinion then of Israel, is it just as easy to say that the reason why there are people here who don't see Israel trying to protect themselves is because those people hate Jews?
Well, I think in some cases you certainly could say that. You certainly could say that regarding the Palestinian Authority. You certainly could say that regarding the Arab countries. And a lot of the other countries that are siding with the Arab countries, which are doing it simply because of oil money and their concerns that they're going to lose the affection of the Arab world, or perhaps that they're going to be afflicted with terrorism, as Israel is.
When we talk about the United Nations, and there are many people who say the United Nations does very little when it comes down to this, and does very little in a lot of instances. But would it be your opinion and the people in Israel that there's a lot of countries and a lot of people at the United Nations right now who would sleep a whole lot easier if Israel was gone?
Well, I think we should examine the United Nations as an international body. The United Nations, during the war in Gaza, the United Nations was looking the other way when there were missiles being planted by the Palestinian Authority, by the Hamas and Fatah terrorist organizations that comprise the Palestinian Authority. Missiles were being planted in those UN-supervised schools. Now, I would really like to know how the UN did not know that there were missiles inside schools. Now, I've been in schools.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to hold that for 1 second here, Mayor Rubin, because you've just hit on a point that I want to touch on, but we have to take a break. We're going to return after the break. We're going to address also comparisons being made between Israel and ISIS.